But first, what a stunning finish we had. Game 1 of the NBA Finals. We had waited for this series the better part of this week. It did not disappoint. Warriors plus 232-point differential in the third quarter this season. That is best in the NBA. All of this is to say, if you're playing well in the third, like Steph Curry was, you should be able to close it out. Steph, a brilliant first quarter, kind of took a little bit off. Then he drives and hits the floater. Warriors up by 9. What a finish by Stephen. Under 10 seconds remaining in the third. Warriors up 11. Warriors outscored the Celtics by 14 in the third. Largest point differential under Steve Kerr in a finals third quarter. This thing was cooked. Warriors up 12. They're at home. Celtics 4 wins this postseason while trailing by double digits. Here comes the comeback. Jaylen Brown. Top of the key. Celtics down 7. Next possession. Brown to Robert Williams. Little bit of momentum. This thing's down to 5. Under 9 minutes to go. Brown. Kick out. Another 3. It's a 2-point game. Again, it was 12 entering the third. Here come the Warriors. Klay Thompson puts them back up 5. Under 7 remaining. Celtics down 4. Derek White, also clutch. 1-point game. Ensuing Warriors possession. Curry drives, finish, back and forth. Warriors back up 3. And when I say this was back and forth, I'm talking ensuing possession after another. Look at this. Here comes the run that would decide it. White the 3. Then, who found Al Horford? Celtics up 3, 6-0 run. Under 5 minutes remaining. Horford said, I felt like guys kept finding me. I kept getting good looks. I kept making the shots. 9-0 run. Horford. Celtics up 8, 11-0 run. Now up 8 after an offensive rebound. Horford finds Smart just sitting there wide open. 14-0 run for the Celtics. And then it's Smart again. We talk about how good he is defensively. He hit some shots when they needed him. 17-0 run. Celtics up 14. At this point, the crowd is stunned. Horford, bucket, foul, finish it. 26 points, 6 rebounds. What a comeback it was for the Celtics. And Jaylen Brown says, you know what? We're not surprised by it.
We battle tested. We've been through a lot. We've been through a lot of experience, a lot of losses. So we know what it takes to win.
Just knowing that we've been in that situation before, and we've gotten ourselves out of it, and we had a lot of time left, right? So, it wasn't time to hang your head or be down. It's time to figure it out.
We've been counted out all year, rightfully so. We've had moments, but we continue to fight, and that's who we are. I think over the last couple months, that's who we've been. That's our identity. I think it's stuck with us for a reason.
Let's put some numbers on how remarkable it was. Trailing by 12 entering the fourth quarter, the Celtics outscored the Warriors 40-16 in the final 12 minutes. Biggest fourth quarter point differential in NBA Finals history. Celtics made 9 threes in the quarter, tied for the most in any quarter in Finals history, and the most in a fourth quarter. There's so much to break down in this one and what went down as we bring in Tim Legler and Vince Carter. In leg day, I'm going to start with you. That final period for the Celtics preceded by yet another ugly third quarter by the Celtics. So what you saw, what changed for them in the fourth?
Yeah, Matt, there are a lot of layers to this and why the Celtics were able to come back and win this game. And obviously, we're going to talk about that barrage of three-point shooting at the end. But for me, a 4-minute stretch in the fourth quarter saved the night for the Boston Celtics, and it was because of what Jaylen Brown did. Think about this. Down by 12, 11 minutes to go in the game. Over the next 4 minutes, he contributes directly to 14 consecutive points for the Celtics, 10 as a scorer and 4 more as a facilitator. By the time that run was over and 7 minutes left to go in the game, it was a 3-point game. And now both teams put their closing lineups on the floor, and you saw what happened from that point on. But I don't think the Boston Celtics win this game without Jaylen Brown having a mini individual run at a critical time at the start of the fourth quarter when the Celtics are back on their heels. Give him a lot of credit for stepping up to the occasion, and then his role players closing the deal late.
Yeah, more numbers for you. Celtics 9 of 12 from 3 in the fourth quarter, the most three-pointers in a fourth quarter in finals history. And Vince, we're used to talking about the Warriors with these fourth quarter adjustments and the three-pointers, but it was Boston that did so. What did you see from them that really helped open up the floor for Jalen to be able to have good looks and then knock down those shots?
Matt, you're exactly right. And Boston made a huge adjustment because they decided to go small, play a little smaller, and put Al Horford at the 5, and now put shooters and athletes and scorers around him. And that's what happened. Now Jaylen Brown gets into the paint. You're able to get in, make passes, swing. Now Al Horford gets open threes because now Looney and Draymond Green now are in help mode and have to close out to a shooting big instead of Robert Williams, who is by the basket. And you can see the way that worked. And then now you see in transition, trail 3 to Al Horford, who's now trailing instead of Robert Williams at the basket. And I think that bit Golden State late in the game because they were just so enamored and focused on stopping Brown. But yet now Brown gets in, makes the right play, moving the ball, and the ball found the open hot shooters in the fourth.
I think it's remarkable, too, how Boston, they were down 12 entering the fourth quarter. The way that they were able to come back in this game, perhaps an even bigger mental hurdle for them if this game was back and forth. But as for the Warriors, guys, we knew coming into this game that they were 7-0 at home. They were really, really good at home in the finals in the first game in franchise history. Now they're just the 6th team over the last 30 years to lose game 1 at home in the finals. And of the previous 5 times, only the 0-1 Lakers and the 2013 Heat came back to win the series. As for the Warriors, look, Steve Kerr was honest about it after the game. He said, look, we had an opportunity. We just didn't get it done.
Well, obviously, everybody's down. You want to go out and win the first one, and we had every opportunity. 12-point lead going into the fourth. So, guys are bummed, as you would expect. But it's a 7-game series for a reason.
When you get to this point in the season, this level, there is no margin for error. It's 2 great teams, and the team that makes the less mistakes are going to win the game.
Obviously, our core, we've been through this a couple times. You lose in the first game of a series, but we've obviously had some tough losses in a series, and you find a way to bounce back. So you got to rely on that experience, but it's also just making the necessary game plan adjustments and coming out with a focused effort.
So, Vince, Steph finished with a game-high 34 points, but, he was brilliant in the first quarter. 21 of those came in the first quarter. Yes. What was thrown at Curry that slowed him down after that hot start?
Well, Matt, the foul trouble, first of all, he sat down, and I think he lost his rhythm there. But in the second half, they started to target him. They, meaning the Boston Celtics, started to target him a little bit, put him in pick and roll, and make him guard, throwing guys at him. And you see a tough three-point shot made here. But every time now in pick and roll, they made him have to make multiple efforts, show on the screen, and then get to your guy. Or if he's guarding Brown right here, they're throwing the ball to him, beat him up a little bit, put him on the ground, whatever they can to get into his legs to slow down that shooting and the capability of taking over the game with his three-point shot like we saw in the first quarter.
We had talked about it, too, coming into the series, how physical Boston can be, and we saw that in game 1 last night after that hot start for Stephen. And so, Tim, for Golden State, who needs to step up to kind of take some of that offensive load off Curry's shoulders, especially when they start figuring out how to slow him down?
Well, the 2 guys, and they're obvious answers, but it's how do they get it done? It's Klay Thompson and Jordan Poole. So I think for Klay Thompson, it's critical to get clean looks early in the game. And I didn't think he really got into that flow at the start. You remember what he did in the closeout against Dallas. He had clean looks at the start, 2 good look threes, and it set up his night. And he was the best offensive player on the floor after that. So I'd make it a focus to try to get some action to get him something that goes in early in the game. And then Jordan Poole looked uncomfortable. He just did not look as aggressive as we saw him all season. And he looked like another dude, and he has risen above that offensively with what he has done this year. He has emerged as a guy that's capable of giving you 20, even on this stage, but he did not look comfortable with Boston's defense last night, and he certainly didn't have enough aggressiveness. So those are the 2 guys that are going to have bounce backs in game 2 and supplement what Steph Curry's doing.
Each of you very quickly, Vince, did your opinion of this series change after last